Maize, also known as corn, is a vital cereal crop globally, offering both sustenance and economic opportunities. Successful maize cultivation relies on understanding its environmental requirements, including climate, soil conditions, and proper agronomic practices. Eruju Benard, an agriculture officer with Uganda Prison Service, takes us through the agronomy of maize growing.
If you finally make up your mind that you want to produce maize, the first thing that you need to first do is you need to select the seed properly. So when you're selecting the seed, go for high yielding varieties, and in prison we have one of them. It is called UH5355, and it's the one you're seeing we are having here. UH5355. You are very sure that you're going to get between 25 to 30 bags. That is 3,000 kilograms, between 2,500 to 3,000 kilograms per acre. Under good management. I still insist on that, under good management. Then the next thing you have to do is identify the site where you're going to plant the crop, because you're going to plant this in the atmosphere. So do a site selection, then get in touch with a soil scientist who will come and test the soil for you. When you're doing soil testing, he wants to understand the nutrients which are inside the soil. He will test for nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. Those are the macro elements. Then, in addition to that, he will also test for macro elements like sulfur, manganese, calcium, magnesium, iron. All these elements help you so much in boosting in maize production. So after getting to know what is in the soil, you've already selected your seed. Remember now you are going into the process of planting. So, but before you go into planting, you have to prepare the land. During the process of land preparation, you can either do it manually, but with Uganda Prison Service, ours is mechanized. So we do plowing. We always do the land preparation with machines, just like that you've seen the machines also. Then, when the land is ready, you have to go into planting. During the process of planting, you plant at a spacing of 75 by 60. Then you leave 2 plants per hole. But you can also reduce it to 75 by 30. Then you leave 1 plant per hole, just like that you're seeing here. Okay? Then, after you have planted, but during the process of planting, you need to time, because most of agriculture in Uganda is rain-fed. You have to time the time when the rains are coming. That's when when the first rains come, you plant. It is purely one seed, because that one plant will maximize all the nutrients around. Are we together? This single plant will maximize all the nutrients around, as opposed to having 2 of them in one hole. So with having 1 plant per hole, the yield is always higher.
Applying fertilizers to maize plants are another step you need not to miss as a farmer. This involves choosing the right type of fertilizer, determining the appropriate application method, and timing it correctly for optimal nutrient uptake.
You need fertilizers which are nitrogenous in nature. You need phosphates, and then you also need potassium. The nitrogen is for the green pigment you're seeing on the maize. Then for the phosphate, will be used for root formation and development. Okay? We only just need a few grams, which can be measured in terms of a bottle top. This bottle top per hill. Just give each plant 1 bottle top. You just scoop and then you pour at the base. When we are using DAP, you use DAP while planting. because you're majorly interested in the phosphate. Are we together? So when you're interested at planting, you want the plants to have well-developed roots. That's why you need the phosphate. Okay? So you want it from the beginning, the plants to be having well-developed roots. Then at 6 weeks, at between 4 to 6 weeks, when this plant is starting its vegetative stage, you need now the nitrogen. I have just told you that nitrogen is responsible for the green color of the plant, and all of us know it very well that the green color is chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is used for attracting sunlight for photosynthesis to take place. So with the green color, you'll have, with chlorophyll in the plant will attract sunlight and will be able to manufacture its own food.
Weeds compete with maize for resources, and effective weed control, especially during the first few weeks of growth, is essential for preventing yield losses.
One of the major agronomic practices that we do is weeding. And weeding must be done as early as possible. Immediately you start seeing weeds in your garden, please start weeding. And weeding can be done both manually and also chemically. There are some chemicals which you use, which are selective, which can be used for weeding. The reason as to why we do weeding is that we want to avoid competition between the desirable plant and the weeds. Then, whenever weeds are there, there's always competition for resources. There's always competition for space. There's competition for nutrients. There's competition for space. There's competition for sunlight. Because remember, these weeds are also plants, so they also need what? Sunlight. There's also competition for water. So if you eliminate that kind of competition, you'll give an opportunity for your plant to develop faster. So here, what we have only just done, we have removed the leaves, and then we have thrown them down, because we know it very well that next season this will be a source of our organic matter. You know what I told you at the beginning, that we test for the level of organic matter. So we have removed the leaves, one for security, and two, so that it can rot, so that you can have organic matter for next season, because now this season is already gone. Then on top of that, when to avoid soil erosion, that's why we have these ridges. Yeah, because this land is at a slope. Yes, it is so important, because you want these leaves to rot slowly by slowly, in order to have organic matter for next season.
Eruju says when growing maize, it's better to consider the level of land, and the appropriate soil conservation methods like mulching is very important, as they help conserve water, suppress weeds, improve soil health, and ultimately increase yields.
You as a farm manager, part of your work is to always be at your garden, or in your shamba, so that you can be able to identify the pests. The major pests, the pests that disturb maize, there are pests that disturb maize in the field, then there are also pests that disturb maize in the stores. Are we together? But since we're in the field, let's basically tackle the ones that disturb us in the field. First and foremost, we have the fall armyworm, which has ravaged the maize for a very long time. But now that one, you handle it by, you mitigate it by spraying. We also have other pests like rats, but now that one is very easy to manage, because if you leave your place, if you weed your garden and you make it clean, it will be very hard for a rat to come and reside here, because for it it's a thief by nature. So it will not be able to. It will not come here and reside here. Then we also have other, I don't know what I will call them, these vermins, monkeys, especially if you're near forest, they can come and steal the maize. Yeah, those are basically the pests. Then diseases. Maize has 2 two major diseases of economic importance. One of them is maize smut. Maize smut, maize smut is a, no, I don't have it here. Maize smut is a what? Is a fungal disease which when pollination is about to take place, the spores enter the ears. Then instead of seeds forming, you find things that look like mushrooms. I'll show you the picture. Things that look like mushrooms, which start by having a gray color, then they later on turn black, then they burst. Then when they burst, they spread the spores to what? To other plants. Then there's also maize streak. Maize streak are just you just get lines, yellow lines along the maize leaf. So with those yellow lines, with such diseases, with those yellow lines, it will be so hard for the plant to have effective photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a process of manufacturing food. So you find such plants are always stunted, and they will not, the cobs will not be good, will be very small if it gives you an opportunity of having a cob.
It is prudent for a farmer to do regular scouting for pests and diseases, as it helps to identify and address potential problems. UH52-55 variety opted by Uganda Prison Service takes about 120 days. Like other varieties of maize, proper harvesting are crucial to minimize post-harvest losses.
The maize variety that we have here takes 120 days to be ready. Right now it has already reached there. That's why I think it is starting to dry. Then from the field, you harvest and then take your produce to the stores. Now a cob which is ready for harvest will dry. Then this joint here will weaken, which is drying. Then when it weakens, the cob will face downwards, just like the way the other one is. Then also this one. Okay, it is just a mechanism, just a natural mechanism that takes place. When it starts drying, this part weakens, then the cob starts facing down, such that this is a natural process. When this natural process takes place, even if it rains, the rain will only come and wash on top. The water will not enter inside the cob. You know, when water enters inside the cob, it will rot. Okay? So this is just a natural mechanism that the plant has to prevent what? Water from entering the cob when it is already dry. Whenever you're harvesting maize, please don't harvest it and again throw it down. You are making it become dirty. What you do, please move with a sack. Harvest the maize, then you put it in a sack so that it can remain clean. Then after harvesting, you load it on a whatever means of transport. It can be a tukutuku, it can be a lorry, it can be a tractor trailer, then you bicycle, then you take it to the store. If you have tarpaulins and you can first collect it there, it's good. But what you should guard against is to throw it on bare ground.
Proper maize storage after harvesting is very crucial to prevent spoilage and maintain grain quality. Key steps include drying the maize to a safe moisture level and using appropriate storage containers that protect it from moisture, pests, and rodents.
Sample, pick cobs, then you thresh, then you bite. You know, with experience, you can hear the rattling sound. Then you know that this maize is what? This maize is dry. Or scientifically, what we use in Uganda Prison Service, we have moisture meters, which we use for testing the moisture content. And it's always recommended that your maize should be at between 13 and 14%. The most important thing is, first and foremost, if you want to prevent aflatoxin, please harvest maize which is dry from the field, properly dry. Then, if it is not fully dry, you can still take it at home, but dry it from home. But when you're drying, please make sure that you're drying it on a drying yard, like the other one, or you can have a tarpaulin and dry it on a tarpaulin. please, 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 make sure that you don't put the maize on the soil. Then, when the maize is in storage, it is in your store, make sure that your store is waterproof. Eh? Are we together? Okay. Make sure that your store has no leakage. We have, deep down in the village, we plant, we keep our maize in these granaries. You find there are holes, then the water enters. So continuous water entering and beating the maize will what? Compromise the what? One, to compromise the dryness. Then you'll also, you as a farmer, you'll lose. After harvesting your maize, you bring it to the stores. But if it is not properly dry, please, you can continuously dry it. You can continuously dry it. But when you're drying it, please don't dry it on bare ground. So here, as Uganda Prison Service, we are demonstrating to you that you can use a drying platform which has been prepared, or if you cannot afford this, please have a tarpaulin that you can use. So when your maize is not properly dry in the field, you can still dry it from home. Then, but when you're drying the maize from home, please have a tarpaulin, or you can have a drying yard like this. When we are designing a crib, you have to you have to make sure that the crib is well aerated, and the aeration comes from the side and also from the bottom. When you're constructing a crib, please make sure that it's at about a height of between half a meter to 1 meter from the ground. That one allows a fully grown person can easily go under and then clean. Then, in addition to that, cribs always have rat guards to prevent rats from entering the crib. Rats is one of the storage pests that we have at the stores. Then another thing is that make sure that your crib is leak proof. Make sure that the iron sheets don't leak. Are we together? Then another thing is that since most of our cribs are wooden, don't allow any termite to build around the crib. When you're allocating the door must be on one side, not in the middle like a house. Okay? Such that this one helps you when you're putting in the maize. Okay? The maize does not what? Come out. So when you're filling a crib, you start filling from the extreme side, coming back towards the door. Okay? Then finally, when you reach the door, you bring some pieces of wood, then you close it.
Like other crops, climate change significantly impacts maize production, leading to low yields due to factors like high temperatures and different rainfall patterns. Eruju advises farmers to be prepared for it at any time and invest more in adaptation measures to benefit from the crop.
No, climate change, you have to, one, prepare yourself. Two, invest in irrigation. But this one is quite expensive, so maybe you can use overhead irrigation. Here there are solutions, even at the show here, there are solutions which you can use, which companies are giving. There are these solar with solar pumps and things like that. There also are varieties that are tolerant to drought. And one of them is UH5051, which we have, plus other varieties which other companies have. Then another thing is also, there are also some other varieties which have a short lifespan. Miezi tatu. You can also invest in that, because that one is basically for food security.
Maize is a valuable crop with diverse uses from food and animal feed to industrial applications. Successful maize cultivation requires attention to several key factors including proper plant density, timely planting, adequate nutrient management, water availability, and understanding the different growth stages, which are very important for optimizing yield and resource utilization.
For any farmer to have very good yield, one, you don't just dive into farming. Please prepare yourself, prepare prepare resources, prepare seed, and also give the farm your time. Don't stop farming remotely. Maize has not yet lost value, because if I can inform you that institutions still depend on maize for feeding for feeding students. Prisons still depend on maize for feeding the prisoners. Then, for as long as you have done your agronomy well, you have high yields, you will definitely, this crop is still a cash cow for you.